roll call, excuse me.
Young? Here. Newberry?
Here.
Crowner?
Here.
Johnson?
Here.
Lees?
Here.
Okay. Do we have any changes or differences with our agenda at this point? If not, I'll ask for a motion.
Motion. So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have our consent agenda consisting of 14 items. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Support.
As approved.
Motion and support. All in favor of approval?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, excuse me. Motion carries on that. We'll go to our council staff reports. Greg?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple items. We received our forgivable loan check from Bordy this week, full payment of the plus interest. So nice to have that resolved. And Cora, our pool manager, arrived in town this week as well. We also took her over to the pool. Mike and John gave her a tour of the facilities, and she's excited to get started. Lessons for the lifeguards that need certification, I believe, are next week. Pools felt good to me while we were over there, so it shouldn't be too bad for them as well. Working on those 2 EPA documents. One is completed. The second one is about 2/3 completed. Hope to wrap it up next week. We got a meeting scheduled with some of the staff, and hope to wrap it up next week. I got an extension to June 10th, I believe it is, for that as well, so we can get that rounded out. And then it's National Public Workers Week, May 15th to the 21st, so I thought maybe we should just congratulate our Public Works staff for this week. So. That's all I've got for nighttime.
Thank you. Public Works, Mike?
I don't have anything new.
Okay. Nothing's broken then.
There's everything, we're still doing what we were doing.
Jesse, please.
I got one thing this weekend is the gun show out the mall. We haven't had a gun show in the city in a long time, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But they haven't asked our department to participate in anything, so they must have it all covered, so.
Do we know who's in charge of that?
Nope.
I've got a name, I can get it for you.
Alexander Salzman, I believe, is the email I got from Sean. But that's the only contact I got was from Sean. But we haven't had any requests to do anything, so I'm assuming they got it all covered, I hope.
Sean?
Getting lawns mowed. I've been having a contractor go out to my habitual offenders. Those are the ones that in the years past I constantly have to stay on and stay after. So I'm sending contractors after them. Sent out several this week alone. I've also been going up to the doors of ones that haven't been a habitual, knocking on them and trying to make contact, and they've been pretty cooperative. And one young lady today, met her in the side yard and asked her when she'd get it mowed. She said today. Hour later, she had it done. So I appreciate the cooperation of the citizens, keeping the lawns where they're at. Those that need to get it down under 6 inches, I just ask they step it up and get them mowed.
I suppose we don't have anything from the city clerk since she's not here.
She's at training for Intergov this week. Actually, Angie just got back as well. She's taking a couple extra days, though, skipping town.
Angie, anything from your end? Okay.
No.
Was it a worthwhile conference for you?
Oh, yeah. I think Sean's computer problems while I was there.
Some of them, not all of them.
Listen, I got the ball rolling.
Okay, any other staff reports? Okay. Council, Melanie, do you have anything?
No, I don't, thanks.
Therese?
Kudos to Angie for graduating from SEC, working hard and full-time and getting your degree. Perfect. Thank you. Oh, and happy birthday to Kathy.
John?
I have nothing.
Andy?
Two 4th of July things. We still have 4th of July raffle tickets here for sale if you have a group that's interested in selling them. We're probably 3 or 4 groups lighter than most years, so opportunity to make a couple $1,000s for your group if you want to come in and get them. Real easy, just stop in City Hall. Number 2, Mike, did we want to talk about that tonight or not, the power stuff? If you're not ready, that's fine.
No, I got a phone call about an hour ago on that. I just told Greg the original bill to upgrade the power out back for the 4th of July stuff was like 17,000. That was 3 months ago. They've just went through it again. Now that same quote is 20,000. We got it enough donated. We're down to around 9,500 is what I need to actually make it right, so we have plenty of excess power and do what we're supposed to do. So I haven't got the written, I got to go talk to him and get the written things, and I'd talk to Greg about what you suggested on funding that. But I will have that paperwork to Greg and a memo for the next council meeting and make a decision on what we want to do.
Now, how are they doing that? Are they?
Right now is a temporary service that was put in, what, 18, 19, 20 years ago.
But what are they proposing to put in?
They're putting a 400 amp service instead of a 200. They got to drill and run conduit out of the basement, put a new breaker in the basement, City Electric, and then split off that with there'll be 8 50 amp breakers and 1 10 breakers to be able to handle all the trailers and vendors without running generators and stuff back there during the 4th of July.
So can they run off of the wire, the main wire in the alley and just put a pole
That's
behind there?
pretty much what we're doing now, some temporary thing, and you can't get enough power for what we've increased, and it's gotten bigger and bigger.
Well, this wouldn't come from downstairs. This would be a total separate service with a pole coming right off the line where the other building comes off of. You know,
Then you're talking another meter base from Alliant.
talking another meter base, which would be used just for the 4th of July.
I don't know that that's possible.
Just to keep things moving, why don't 3 of us hook up for 2 minutes afterwards or something and look at that? And,
Yeah.
okay, but
I think it could be
I don't
done.
have anything to bring to you tonight. I just thought if we had it, let's have the discussion. So that's more than the last time Mike and I had talked, but still, he's done a lot of work getting that down from where it was at 17. So thank you very much on that, and we'll discuss it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Kathy?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay. I just have one. I had a request from a person who would like to know if we would consider changing the speed limit around the schools to a school day only, so that during the summer months that we were not doing 20 miles an hour on those areas in front of the school and beside the school. So I bring that up as just a concern from one of our citizens. Okay. Any citizen inquiries that we might have at this point? Okay. We have a couple community reports. Jeremy Hess from Economic Development.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to see you all. I did cut my hand on the way in here, and I've not been shot, so I just want to point that out. But anyway, thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. I just wanted to come and give this, the city of West Burlington kind of an update on various things. It's kind of everything under the sun a little bit. And then be able to answer any questions that you might have. So Some of these things are always a little bit dicey because I can't share some things. I know that the media covers these meetings, and so might be vague on some things. But first of all, I want to give the city of West Burlington an update on the ABB building. You may or may not know that Newmark Group, excuse me, is the representative that's brokering, or is the broker in charge of the building for ABB. I've been on, I think at this point, I think it's like 18 different site visits. I've invited some folks on some of those site visits early on, and then but always giving those folks the red carpet treatment for our community and showing them around. As it stands right now, we have 3 offers on the building for the ABB building. 2 of them are acquisition offers to purchase, and then one of them is a lease offer for the building. The companies, I have no, I don't want to say in the matter as far as that goes. I don't have any ownership of there. So, the company's evaluating those offers. I have attempted to direct ABB towards an organization that I have worked with for about 2 months now. That's called Phoenix Group. Phoenix Group's out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And they have just a terrific reputation for taking buildings, problems and all, kind of what we call white gloving them, fixing them up, making them ready to sell and so forth, and then turning those things over to manufacture, so job creation. And so Phoenix Group they've done great things in Iowa City, Des Moines. They took the 2 million square foot former Maytag building in Newton, Iowa, and turned that around and white gloved it. And they're pretty creative with how they, it's leased to this guy, it's sell to this guy or whatever. But anyway, so just doing what I can to kind of tell ABB and Newmark, this is the kind of organization that we really want to see move into the community and do some good things with. So I just know that as of today, there are 3 offers, 2 for acquisition and 1 for lease. So I know there's some environmental concerns there. I know that Phoenix Group has said, we know what those concerns are. We're willing to make those go away and so forth. So anyway, that's the best I can give you on the ABB building. And I'll stop there for just a minute and see if there's any questions or comments on that. So,
Real quick, Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you know, but there's significant brownfield dollars available right now. I was having a conversation with Impact 7G recently. There's quite a bit out there that's available. Once you obviously get a tier 1, tier 2, but there's significant brownfield dollars out there.
yeah, so I haven't come to this. I've shown that building or been part of it, like I said, like 18 visits, and some of them I'm like, oh, this one's going to happen. This one's done, and it doesn't happen. And so like Hostess was really, I thought it was a done deal. And the company, ABB, would not allow them to do a Phase 2 environmental on the building. So it's not that the company isn't willing or people aren't willing to pursue those grants to remediate that and so forth, but ABB's a sovereign company and they want to do what they want to do. So I'm just trying to help put them in touch with people who do this on a daily basis. They do it professionally and so forth. So it's a complex problem. So the next thing I want to update you on, and I've got 8 things. I'm sorry. I'll be quick. Number 1 is right across the street. I realize it's not a West Burlington business, but Black Hawk Industries that has the Mount Pleasant Street Bakery just across the street. We had some information that they were going to be closing, and that was a concern. And so we reached out to them and found out that they are actually, it's just one line, one production line. They make the Krispy Kreme donuts over there that we all love. And one line is being reduced for 2 shifts. And it's going to affect about 57 employees. We've had, Iowa Works has been in touch with them. Those people get gobbled up really quickly in our community. I mean, everybody's looking for people and so forth. But, you know, as soon as I heard that, I had gotten information that they were going to be closing. And so I went running after Hostess and saying, hey, wait, we've got this bakery right over here. So anyway, but that's the case with them, 3400 Mount Pleasant Street, one line being reduced for a couple of shifts there. I'm happy to share with you that we recently had a West Burlington kind of a regional job fair at the Westland Mall. We had 92 employers participate in that job fair. We didn't have a real firm clicker count, but there was about 300 job seekers that were and I've talked to a number of employers that said it was absolutely the best job fair that they've had in a couple of years, to be honest with you. So everybody was very encouraged. I don't know if everybody got what they wanted, but it was a good positive thing, and we're thankful to the Westland Mall for allowing us to help host that there. The West Burlington Mall, Greg, I appreciate, I got an email today from Stephen Michael, that we're going to be able to participate in a kind of a learning session with yourself and Brian Pauley on all the ways that we can pursue, repurposing the mall and so forth. Just want the council to know that that's always a priority for us, that property gets the maximum, benefit for the community and so forth. So, we've done a lot of things over the years with looking at companies coming in there and call centers, and it's been a tough nut to crack. So, that's my update on West Burlington Mall.
By the way, he's with the city of Mason City, so. Brian
Mason
Paul.
City,
Yeah.
Yep. Happy to share with you that a couple of weeks ago we had a site visit to, I call it the West Burlington shops. It's the railroad shops that sit behind these tracks here, just not too far away from us. Had a logistics company come to town from Indiana. They're looking at doing a lot of transloading, kind of cross-loading. Stuff comes in by train, goes out by truck, and so forth. And one of the best things, or the best developments in some time for us in economic development is that Burlington Northern's willing to. They've just always told me no, we're not doing anything there. And now they're willing to lease 42 acres of land out there. I don't think they'll ever sell. I think there's environmental concerns there that keep them from doing that, but they want to see that repurposed. There's a tremendous amount of rail infrastructure there. The buildings are awful rough. They're really rough. I don't even know what somebody would do there, but for the right customer and the right purpose, I think we can see some activity there, and we just continue to pursue that. And I was happy to host that company. Another thing I want to share with you, a lot of the things that we do in economic development, they're not very, I don't know, for lack of a better word, it's not very sexy. It's certainly not newsworthy or whatever, but what some folks know, what I've learned, and what some other economic developers have learned in the area is that Southeast Iowa has a pretty significant natural gas shortage. Most people would know that. Now, I don't think this means that, your residents or whatever are going to run out of natural gas. But as we have pursued larger projects that have natural gas as a feedstock, we have found out the hard way that we have a shortage in the area. Now, Iowa Fertilizer is the largest natural gas user from between here, just on the other side of the Mississippi, and the Permian Basin. I mean, there's no other natural gas user. And so in the wintertime, when things get cold and everyone cranks up their heat and so forth, the pressures drop. And it's that pressure guarantee that a user that might look at the shops or over here by the Raider site that needs 500 psi, we can't guarantee that, and A&R can't guarantee that. And so anyway, we've lost regionally just a couple of projects. Just know that we've had to pass on some things. And so my counterparts in Henry County and in Lee County and myself, this has gotten the attention of Debbie Durham, who's the Director of Economic Development. And we know we can attract a large, significant user to the area without addressing this. But it's real complicated, and it's expensive and so forth. I mean, the project that we were looking to land down by Weaver was going to be about $60-some million to put a pipeline in to supply the gas. Comes from Yarmouth. There's impact for the city of West Burlington and Des Moines County, because if it comes through your municipality, you have rights there, or you have, I don't know all the lingo, but it would impact all of us. Anyway, long story short, that we have entered into conversations with A&R, with all the utility partners, with Alliant, with the state of Iowa, trying to bring attention to this issue and get it addressed. And we don't know how to do that. It's probably going to be some EPA grants, some USDA grants, and you have to go after everything. But I just wanted to update you that, again, I don't want to cause alarm. Nobody's going to run out of gas tomorrow or anything, but we can't attract a major employer to the area without addressing our gas shortage in our region. So. Next thing on my list is a quick update on the Raider site. So right over here behind us, the former Raider precast building. As you know, Deep Root Irrigation is in that building. And PCI Contracting is, we're allowing them to use that land as a place to crush concrete. So they're hauling in chunks of concrete, they're crushing it, and then taking it out back to Highway 61. It's a way for us to support the Highway 61 project, but it's also a way for us to kind of leverage them doing major cleanup in the area. They've already done a significant amount of that. The next step is this month they will be moving equipment so that they can clean out. There's a settling pond, a drainage settling pond that's right in front of the Southeast Iowa Regional Planning building. And so the water runs off of what is now it used to be WW Transport. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, the water runs off there, goes into a settling pond, and then goes into that big pond that you all see behind the building. And that settling pond is just absolutely full of silt and so forth. So as part of the agreement, they're going to dredge that pond, clean it out. They're going to put all that dirt and silt kind of over, I call it the moonscape. It's a place where concrete has been dumped forever that nobody could ever clean up, but it's part that regional planning is going to own, and just cover that, and then we'll plant wildflowers, natural grasses, and so forth. I mean, there's probably the best plan for that. So anyway, that also, and in the Raider building, we have a pending lease agreement with. So as you know, Deep Root Irrigation purchased the building there, the Raider Building's 48,000 square feet. They need about 8,000 square feet currently as they continue to grow their company. We have a company out of the Quad Cities that's looking at leasing about 40,000 square feet. It would allow the company Deep Root Irrigation to grow and so forth, but create about 20 jobs, decent paying jobs, a little bit of truck going in and out of there, but it just allows the company to offset some revenue and so forth. So last, but how am I doing? Am I okay? Am I wearing you out?
No.
Okay,
No,
all
you're
right.
doing great.
So last but not least, just want to share with you, council members, real quick. Yep.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
And one for you too, why not? One of the things we work on hard at the partnership is just workforce issues. Everybody's struggling and so forth. So what you have in your hands here is called our asset inventory map, and I'll have you know that I came up with the name AIM, the acronym. That's hard to come by, but anyway, it is. So what we found out in our evaluation of our workforce issues is that there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of different things. There's a lot of schools, there's a lot of organizations, there's a lot of people were doing, and there was a lot of redundancy, and there was a lot of organizations or holes that we saw. And so what the first thing to do was our organization took effort to go through every school district, West Burlington, Burlington, Mount Pleasant, Danville, what are the Kiwanis doing? What are the Lions doing? What is private organization doing? And just put it all in one place so that people know exactly what is happening in our schools and in our younger generation, to be able to tell people or tell young people about various career pathways and so forth. And so we have put this together. It's color coded. Anything you see in green in there will be with West Burlington schools. Purple is Burlington and so forth. It has grade levels. It has the number of students served. But so we're distributing this to educators, but we're also distributing this to businesses in our area so that they know, because businesses always ask us, okay, I'd really like to be able to speak to students. What are my opportunities to do that? How can I best do that? How can I best communicate with students on what the needs we have? And so we made this so that there's, basically volunteer or business opportunities, so they know where they can plug in and so forth. So anyway, it's a kind of a thick document, lots of things in there, everything with SCC and so forth, but just wanted you to have that in your hands. This is something that will be updated every year, and it's a way for us and parents and educators and business to know exactly what it is that we have, where are the holes, and businesses, how can they plug in. So anyway, just happy to share that with you, and I'm really sorry I took this much time. That's what happens when I should come more often so I can keep it shorter. Any questions, or I'm happy to take those.
You said that the main that you would feed off of for that gas shortage is at Yarmouth? Is up around there?
That's where the big distribution line runs through Yarmouth. So if we're going to do anything, we've got to put a feeder a line off of that.
How far south does the shortage go? Does it go past Keokuk or?
Oh yeah. It's all of southeast Iowa. I mean, so for example, if the project that we were pursuing was going to locate in Weaver, and the gas was going to have to come from Yarmouth. The same project would have located probably in Middletown. So Middletown has the same shortage that Weaver have. And the same thing that runs right here in West Burlington or by the Raider site, as well as over here by the rail lines. Same feeder system that's pulling off that main line, and there's capacity issues there. So. Sure. Jeremy, is that TransCanada? Yeah, TransCanada A&R. TransCanada is. We've talked with both of them, and I don't remember exactly how TransCanada plays in, but A&R is the one that.
We've got 3 high-pressure mains that run right through the hospital.
Yep.
But here's my real question. With the line plan changing over to gas, how's it going to affect where they get their gas from now?
Yeah, so his question, it was about the line, and so that's one of the things that precipitated this conversation is that Alliant is turning the Burlington generation station from coal to gas. Now is going to be a peak generation station, so it means it's just going to fire up when they need it. But you know, OCI, the fertilizer facility, is extremely concerned about that because when it gets really cold and everyone's pulling on those gas lines, and then the generation station fires, they need a certain capacity and so forth. And I say that just to I mean, this is how cooperation and partnerships work because government has a hand. Regional planning and Mike Norris has been terrific in this, but we also have a potential organization that has a significant investment and needs gas, and they can never expand there if they don't have gas, ever. And it won't be in buildings, it'll just be in capacity. So I think we're getting to a place where we have the right people at the table and so forth, but it's not an easy solution, and who's going to pay, and you know, usually it's we got to have another user at this end that's potentially coming before we'll do this, and it's a little bit of a dance. So
It's a good thing you're working on it now, though.
yeah, because it's probably something that, you know, will take 10 years to get fixed, so, or addressed.
Do you have more of these that I could get, not today, but sometime we can stop down? and grab?
Absolutely, we have cases of them.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you, council, for letting me share with you tonight. I apologize for going long.
Thank you.
I have a couple questions real quick.
Uh-oh.
Like the BNSF, what's the timeline in that coming to fruition with the 42 acres being available for lease? Is that?
Well, the 42 acres is available now, and they are actually marketing it, and we're helping them market it. So that's going into Site Selector magazine, that's going into their publications and so forth. It's a small parcel of land of what they own, but it's really the only, other than the buildings and what's already there, that's really the only chunk of land that they're willing to work with somebody on. But because it's so close to all that rail infrastructure, we're happy, we're excited, we'll take what we can get and work with them. But it's available now. You know, so if this organization from Indiana would move on it, I would, you know, I think, I don't see many hurdles there on that particular portion of land.
And back on the ABB site, similarly, any idea on the timeline on when decisions are supposed to be made on what's going to happen there, or with these 3 planting offers?
From what I understand, that, you know, most of these purchase agreements, or at least letters of interest, have a clicking clock with them and so forth. But I've just been worn out with trying to figure out that, you know, this one's going to happen, that one's going to happen. All I can tell you is that they have 3 offers in on the building. I don't know what, I'm sure those have a timeline on them that's fairly short. 30 to 60 days or something like that for due diligence, and then we'll know. But I'm also knowing that ABB is willing to lease out you know, they've been all along for full acquisition. They want someone to buy the thing. And they're getting, as we get down the road, they're getting more and more willing to, we'll lease out this space, we'll lease out that space, and so forth. But again, my goal in this is to bring organizations and companies to the table that will produce jobs, not, you know, a warehouse and two guys in a forklift and what have you. But it is what it is, and I don't have control of the building, so.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Our second report's from Sandra Sandberg and Hans Traussel.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, council members.
Evening.
Hi, Hans.
I'm not going to introduce myself, but Sarah here, the airport manager. And I thought it'd be nice just about to come up maybe every 3 or 4 months to give you a short report, not like Jeremy. But I was actually happy to hear this.
Yep.
A lot of things going on because one way or another, all these companies that are looking at places to come to town are going to utilize the airport at one time or another. So we want to make sure that we still have a viable airport. And first, I just want to tell you, we lost a member of the airport authority a couple of weeks ago. Dan Wiedermeyer was a member, and sadly he passed away. And he was the county's representative, but in the last year or two, he moved from the county to the city, and Charlie Walsh was the city's representative, but he had moved to the county. So there had to be some changes going on, and yesterday at the Des Moines County Supervisors meeting, they appointed Charlie Walsh to be the county's representative. So now the city of Burlington needs to appoint another representative. But a lot of things are going on out there. Sarah can probably tell you better than me, but I just want to, one of the biggest things is we're probably going out for bids on the approach, not the runway, but the approach aprons. And also we're looking at adding another commercial hangar, which has got a pretty steep price tag to it. And of course you all heard about Cape Air, that they gave notice here a couple of weeks ago to leave the area, but the way the contract is written and the way the federal laws are with the FAA, they can give notice, they can give the 90-day notice, and they're still required after the 90 days to go on a 30 to 30-day contract, so they're actually not leaving. And I believe since they gave notice, the flights have actually been pretty good.
They've done better, yes.
So with that, I'll let Sarah tell you a little more.
So they filed notice on May 3rd. I know I sent out an email for everybody to know. But, you know, what happens now is a request for proposal will go out, which comes from the US DOT. He hasn't put that out yet. I'm not sure why. He thought it would be this week, but I haven't seen it. But anyway, so it will be out there for other airlines to put a proposal in. There's a concern that there could be no proposals put in, which just means Cape Air has to continue service, and it goes on a 30 by 30. Now, they can pull their notice at any time up until an order would be written if somebody were putting a proposal in and we made a recommendation to switch. Kind of a little inkling I got out of an email yesterday from Andrew Bonney, who was here a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if any of you listened to him downtown, but it sounds to me like, you know, they're working to get their pilot shortage under control, and he made the comment, because I think it was on the TV yesterday, that they were going to be out of there by February 1st. Not true, or August 1st. Not true, and that, you know, his plan is to get the pilot shortage under control, maybe pull the notice. the biggest thing I can get help from anybody is to have everybody get it out there that it's business as usual. I have been fielding calls left and right. Well, what do? I bought tickets, you know, and it's like, they're flying. I think the media just took it and dispersed it however. But anyway, so, you know, we want to try to do everything we can to maintain and keep Cape Air there. I think they're a great company. Financially, they are very sound, so it has nothing to do with that. It's just a simple pilot shortage that's a nationwide issue. But anyway, one of the things I do want to cover, he was talking about our taxiway B project. We've got a refurbish, some hangars out there that we've got going on, the Row E corporate hangars. And then ATP funds that we were able to apply for to do some terminal remodel work. And the entrance that comes in, and we're trying to coincide that with Summer Street project to try to get a better bid from a contractor if they're doing both, and at the same time cut down on any issues with people trying to get to the airport. If they're having trouble getting there on Summer Street, I don't need to turn around and 6 months later have trouble getting into the airport. So we want to try to do it at the same time. And as you may know, that he talked about the other hangar. We went up and accepted what they call IK funds by the governor, and these were issued out to any airport in Iowa that had commercial air service. And we were awarded $1.573 million.
Great.
So there's a lot going on out there. Like I said, Cape Air, it's business as usual. Please spread the word. I mean, John Schultz and I will be going out to Washington, D.C., and we'll be talking with the USDOT out there while we're out there on this whole pilot shortage, which, like I said, it is a nationwide issue.
Is that pilot shortage causing flights to get canceled out of Burlington?
It is. But I will say, and I was just looking at the numbers today, our numbers are going up for ridership, which is good. That was a Cape Air, I believe that really helped having them. But even with the canceled flights they've had, our numbers are up. But the canceled flights, that has gone down in May. So I think they're, you know, slowly getting themselves together. They have brought pilots up from different locations. Part of them were not trained on the special plane, the TechNAMs, so they've had to go through a period of trying to bring some of those pilots up to speed on that. One of the biggest problems is that it's a requirement for 1,500 hours, flying hours for these pilots, which was moved up from 250 back in 2012. And so it's one of those, it'll take a while to get the government to bring that back down to, you know, I think they kind of did a knee-jerk reaction and maybe should have done somewhere in the middle. But
If you know of anybody that is like a private pilot and that has a minimum of 250 hours, Cape Air are looking for pilots like that. They won't put them in the left seat, they'll put them in the right seat and help train them also. But the thing is, these guys get trained, they get their 1,499 hours in, and then they move up to the bigger airlines. So it's always.
For $150,000 signing bonus.
yeah, that's an issue.
Wow.
Yeah.
So about what percentage would you say in May have been canceled?
Oh, I'm gonna say, let's see, what day, we're what, 18th?
18.
I'm gonna say maybe 8%.
Okay.
You know, a couple of them, one of them, the pilot was sick.
Yeah.
And today, they did cancel Chicago because of the weather between here and Chicago, which you can't, there's nothing you can do with that, so. But I do believe they are honestly, they want to be here. And we want to keep them. I think that it's pretty amazing to see the numbers go up when the flights have gone down. So, you know,
Anyway, we'll just give you a short update, and
yeah.
thanks for letting us do
Appreciate
that.
the time here, and
Appreciate
certainly come out and see what's all going on.
I will, comments I've gotten from friends, they've enjoyed when they've been able to use Cape Air, they like that. And then the second thing, the Cape Air's ability to book your flight all the way through from here, connect and go, and even Google Flight, check it and see comparison shop. People who are trying to get here appreciate that, they're recognizing it, so maybe that's all adding up. But yeah, keeping them here is important.
I do believe so. They have a good service, but, and I will say, in general, flights are going up everywhere. And I couldn't believe what they were for us to get to Washington DC this time, but. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you.
You all have the opportunity to tell that you live in a town of 3,000 and you have every mode of transportation available to you.
That's right.
Riverboat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. I have 2 more trees for voting.
Okay, I'll move on then to a public hearing. Budget amendment for the 21-22 fiscal year.
We need a motion second?
Motion? Do I need a motion on the public hearing or not?
Oh, on the public hearing? No, sorry, apologies.
Well, in that case, then, is there any discussion or information to be put out at this point?
For the public hearing, in the package, you've got a memo that Angie put together, both the background and a list, as well as a spreadsheet that goes into more detail. This is an annual process the city goes through. As we've noted before, I'm cautiously optimistic that we won't need the update, other than perhaps in our street department, which is pretty close, given a number of issues that have come up this past year. But we do this so that we meet state code requirements and stay within the budget for each of these functions. You'll note that revenues, the amendment for revenues exceeds the amendment for expenditures as well. Happy to answer any specific questions on each of the functions, either Angie or myself.
I think I just have a comment. You know, this is the second or third of these I've done here, and 4 or so at the school district when I was there, and this is the best one in terms of showing me exactly where we were over and under on both revenues and expenditures, so thank you for putting it together this way.
Angie, you put the spreadsheet and the memo together. This is the first one, too, so appreciate it.
Okay. With that, I guess we can close the public hearing and go on to new business, which is considering a resolution approving the budget amendment for fiscal year 2021, 2022.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion at this point? If not, is this one that I need to have a roll? Yeah, okay, roll call vote then.
Call. Crowner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Newberry.
Aye.
Motion carries. Our second one is consider options for vending services at the West Burlington swimming pool.
We been talking about this quite a bit since this has come up. The individual that was interested in providing the food truck vending at the pool has still yet to respond on the contract as well. Multiple emails and calls. At this point in time, we're recommending that we go with Boss Vending at this point in time. I think we've got an opportunity to put the word out and attract, hopefully, food trucks on the east end of the pool. There's a pad that you can drive up on, and maybe, it's be something that we could certainly try and, rent the space for the day, $100, whatever the appropriate amount is, and maybe bring some food trucks in to a community park that's yours for the day, whether it be the pool or sports activities that are going on. With Boss Vending, we get a percentage of the revenue for drink sales. The food products, we are able to mark up, and then we receive the difference between the purchase price and the market price. They take back an open product, and we were talking with Cora on how this could work with staff pretty easily, and how we can make a few adjustments to be able to work it out. Hot food-wise, obviously, we have limitations. Perhaps popcorn, perhaps nachos, but unfortunately, at this point in time, it looks like this is probably our best option at this point in time. But with the goal of getting to the point where we have a full-blown concession stand in the future.
Can Boss be ready to go by the day we open the pool, May
Yeah,
28th?
Kelly's been in touch with them a couple times. They're obviously right up the street. They can provide the supplies. They can place the vending machines and provide the supplies, and have us up and running, so.
And, excuse me, will they stock the vending machines?
The pop, and then they'll provide us with the food, and we will
With
mark
the
that up.
stock,
And we have freezers, fridge, and then place that Mike was actually talking with Cora about maybe how we could set that up so that it'd be better or visible, so that it could be done by one person from the entrance area. And then, depending on staffing, be able to open up the side, depending on our staffing issues at this point in time. Right now, I think the memo says we have 9 and 5s. I think she said, as of this week, we have about 16 total employees, and I think we have, and we have never signed up for the lifeguard certification next week. And then, obviously, we have that topic on for tonight as well. Happy to answer any questions, but that would be our plan at this point in time.
Well, it sounds to me like Boss is who we need to go with on this vending.
I take that as a motion.
You can do that.
Motion and support then. We've had our discussion, so.
Just one comment. I think you're going the right way on, since you're not getting much of a response for this year, but I do want to say I expect next year that we have this set up and ready to go with hot food, and hopefully that we're running it ourselves.
Yeah, I think we need to inventory what we have, what we need to purchase, budget, plan for that, and.
The problem next year might still be the same problem we have this year, is getting employees to run and take care of it.
Absolutely. But hopefully we'll have a better start, a little bit longer start as well.
Yeah. And then, if we know that's what we want, we have a year to do that. We can see what the problem's gonna be.
But, and Mike's absolutely right, and obviously we're addressing it again tonight, but I've got an article you probably saw as well, Target's upping their minimum wage to $15 to $24, depending on several factors. I think we were at $16 here. I don't know what they're going up to in West Burlington, but in some markets they're going to be at $24 at minimum wage, even though I think it said that they lost, or their revenue was down significantly this last quarter. So, but they're still raising up to $24 in some markets. How do you compete with that?
No further discussion, then I'll call for a voice vote.
Maybe, when are we I guess I wanna go with Boss Vending, but also do the invite out the food trucks. If they wanna come and park there and provide whatever, that, be a food truck. Somehow add that to our offerings as potential, because that could be a long-term solution too, even for next year. If staffing remains an issue, we can't staff a concession stand. But if our goal is to, A, provide a service to our citizens who use the pool, and maybe make some money off it with the food truck people.
Yeah, I'd like to gather a list, obviously. I'd like to put it out on social media, but I think it'd be kind of a cool thing. There's a lot of communities that even just have like food truck in the park night. You'll have 4 or 5 food trucks. Families will come. They'll come to the park, grab a bite to eat, play in the park. But in this case, maybe we offer it to, on a first come, first served basis. And ideally we fill up every day, but maybe we don't. Maybe it's Taco Tuesday or whatever it might be. But get the word out that it's available. It's easily accessible. You can drive right up there. Kids would be able to stay on the sidewalk, and then they could stay open as long as the park is open as well, and serve anybody that's using the fields if they want to as well.
Yeah.
I think, why not throw it out there and see if we get some interest?
Agree.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consider the second reading of an ordinance setting water rates for fiscal year 2022-23.
I think you skipped one.
Did I?
Number 3.
Item 3.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I did. In fact, I skipped 2, I think. Considering donating daily admission passes to the Burlington Public Library for their summer reading program. Motion on this?
Motion approved. Support.
Support. Motion support. Discussion?
How many?
Yeah.
1,400, I think, is what they're
Well,
asking for, right?
Actually, I was trying to clarify that with Kelly before the meeting as well. So the children have to meet the program criteria. So typically, it's been no more than 300, 200 to 250. They make up a certificate, and if the child meets the criteria of the program, they get the pool pass, and they can bring it to the city, and that's when they get it. So it's averaged between maybe 200 and 300 passes, and the city's done this for a number of years, and it's worked out well. To me, it's clearly a public purpose behind this, and something we should support. But it's never been. She doesn't think it's ever been more than 300 at max. So.
Further discussion?
Can we put a cap on it? Even if it's 500?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. No, I mean, absolutely.
Wouldn't that be a great problem to have? 500 kids met and exceeded their reading goal for the summer. That's awesome. Sure, a cap of 500 sounds awesome, Andy.
What if
I don't care if they gotta come
501
back and say, hey, we've just had an amazing year and we've got a bunch more or something, but
Yeah.
I
Each
guess,
of those kids brings a friend.
I guess it's the side of me where, I won't name any names, but I've done so many of these programs through previous things, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I have seen that person every day here with a pass. Yeah.
Are you wanting a friendly amendment?
Well, what if I'm the 501st child that read all my books and I come?
Yeah.
And I don't get a pass.
Well, I think they can call us pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure we need this in here, but
It doesn't really cost us anything.
Get the families out of here.
I wouldn't put a number on it. We never
all
have.
right, go as is. It'll be fine.
Okay.
In that case, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, to make sure that I'm in the correct spot this time, I need to go to considering mending resolution of 2020-20, wages for swimming pool employees. And we have some, well, I should ask for a motion on this.
So basically, we're looking to do one of two things, either bump up the wages from 10 to 12 or, and from 8 to 10, or simply bump them up $1 and then provide bonus. And I think Kelly included, I started to collect on the city manager's grapevine what some of the other cities are doing, and there was a discussion. A few of the cities were trying this year-end option that would incentivize lifeguards and attendants if they, so the more hours they worked, and at the end of the year, that you would get paid, $1 an hour for those hours. So it incentivizes them to work more hours throughout the summer and longer, which is also a problem that not only West Burlington has, but pretty much all pools have at the end of the year when school and you tend to lose guards a little bit early. I kind of like the idea, and so our recommendation is to bump it up $1 and then offer the $1 per hour incentive for those lifeguards and attendants that work based on the number of hours at the end of the season. I kind of like the idea. I've not done it before, kind of a trial basis, but I think it's more of an incentive.
So how many
it
hours
helps
does that,
us.
how many hours does that?
Well, we were,
what-
so if it was, 40 hours a week times 4 weeks, you've got, 160. And times, if it was 3 months, which is not quite 3 months, so you're up to 408, 80. So, 480, that'd be $480 in that case. So, you're really not talking, right?
Well, so yeah, 12
Yeah.
weeks times 40 hours a
Yeah.
week.
So
How many is
it-
it? What, yeah, 40
You
hours
won't
a
see
week.
12.
It's the same thing as raising it a buck, but it just depends. You're really just incenting the individual to work longer and more hours, rather than giving it to everybody. So,
Can we do that? Can we withhold wages till the end of that pay period?
well, it's not you're not withholding wages. It's a
The bonus is the
it's
end
an
of the
incentive. It's a bonus. So what do you want
Year-end
to call it?
incentives?
Yeah.
Or season-end incentive?
I like that idea, and I make a motion to approve.
A motion?
Support.
Support?
Okay.
On your motion, are you setting a number of hours that they have to work?
I think I'll leave that up to Kara, or Cora, because
She's going to have to manage the staff and the number of employees that we have, and we're hoping to continue to get more.
I'm with you, it's just in our resolution before us with a blank.
with the number of hours.
It's blank.
It says
Yeah.
work a minimum of hours.
I would recommend that they have a date too, that they work through the end of close or something.
Yeah, because I could come up with 10 exceptions. I'm like, good, except I joined the National Guard and I leave August 10th. Don't I get my bonus? And the next guy, I joined, I left, school started August 30th, so I had to leave the 25th. Do I count,
Yeah, I
You
don't
gotta
know
figure
that
that
I
out.
don't, yeah.
I
think
like
we
the
need-
way you have it, it's hours worked after a certain amount of hours, I just think,
Right,
and I'm okay leaving it, but what we have in front of us doesn't allow for that.
yeah. I've not done it before, and we were having some discussions whether we should have those limitations in there or not. What we're really trying to do is, it's simply incent them to work more hours and pay it at the end of the year,
Should-
for that additional time frame.
Should we take out the employees must work a minimum of hours, because they'll have a schedule to work so many hours a week, won't they?
Yes, for scheduling the employees. Mhm.
But without that, then they just get the bonus the entire time.
What?
We need that line.
So if somebody misses, I'm just trying to think this through. If somebody misses that third week, you know, they come down sick for a week, is there a way to make that whole week up later on so they can get the bonus at the end?
You'll get the bonus a week later than everyone else by what I'm reading.
It's a total hours at the end of the season, right?
Right. Yeah, it's based on your total hours at the end of the season.
So your total hours would be less by week.
But you have to work so many hours in order to get a period. So if taking out 40 hours, that might be a difference of the whole bonus or not, which,
Well,
if they
can't-
could somehow get an extra 2 hours a day or something in.
I really don't
and
think
not
it's gonna be an
pay.
issue. We're gonna be we're gonna be working hard to keep the pool open, as it is, as many hours as possible. So, I mean, we're gonna be, we need guards.
Well, I understand that.
Right.
But
So I think there'll be plenty of opportunity to
Pick
get
up the
hours.
extra hours.
Absolutely.
But they can do it, is what I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
think there'll be plenty of opportunity to get extra
If
hours.
we close because of bad weather, we can't hold that against them.
And, you know, and if they want
Another
to,
question.
yeah, I just don't think there'll be an issue, so, it's something different to try. I kind of like the concept, and,
We will put 40 hours in there, a minimum of 40 hours per week, or
300 hours. So it's the 40-hour week for 12 weeks is 480 hours. So if they work,
not gonna work 12 weeks.
okay, 11 weeks.
yeah, no.
Just give us, what's a reasonable number, 300?
I think 12 is probably too high, but, you know.
We just need a number put in that blank.
yeah.
That's reasonable. That's what,
Well, like 320 or something, like, yeah, I think you're gonna be down there.
Usually
8
we're open
weeks.
about 82
Or even
82
320,
days.
that'd be 2 months. I think that'd be a reasonable amount.
Yes, I mean, you're somewhere in that, but
Yep,
280,
300,
320, 300,
just an even 300.
yeah.
with that.
300?
I like 320.
Modified to include 300 hours.
Minimum 300 hours.
You okay with that, Kathy?
Friendly amendment of 300 hours. All right. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now we can go with the second reading of the ordinance setting water rates for fiscal year 2022-2023.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion support. Any discussion? If not, this is an ordinance, right? So I need to have a voice vote on this one?
Yes. Roll call.
Roll call.
Newberry,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 6, consider a final reading of the ordinance amending City Code Section 90.11 to include the installation of tracer wires on newly constructed or reconstructed water service lines.
Motion approved. Support.
Motion and support. Discussion? Not, this is again an ordinance, so roll call.
Crowner,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 7, consider a final reading of an ordinance adding a new section of 90.22 prohibiting theft of services and tampering water service system.
Motion to approve.
support.
Motion support. Any discussion? Not, roll call vote, please.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 8, consider final reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 91 of the City Code by adding a new section 91.11 prohibiting the tampering of water meters.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Lees,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 9, Consider the final reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 96 of the City Code to include a new section requiring the installation of tracer wires on newly constructed or reconstructed sewer lateral pipes and mains.
So moved.
Support.
Motion support. Any discussion?
Yeah, I got a quick question. Is that correct? Isn't this part supposed to be the one where we're saying you can't tamper with that tracer wire? Didn't we just approve what you just read? Number 6.
Number 6.
Oh, you're right, Ryan.
One was sewer,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Yep, thank you. I thought that's what it was. Then there's no discussion? Okay. Roll call vote?
Young,
Aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consider a resolution of support to a workforce housing tax credit application.
So moved.
Support.
Would you come up so we can hear you? Appreciate it.
Sorry, Ryan Nagrocki, Midwest Realty Group. Make a comment on that resolution. The entity shows Southeast Iowa Housing. Actually, that should be Midwest Realty Group. That was an error on that I did notice on the resolution. But otherwise, looking at doing, I think you guys have seen a preliminary plat, but we'll be before you later at some point in regards to the Penn Landing subdivision on Pennington Street, over here in West Burlington, looking at applying to the state, like we did on Lane Drive behind Target to build the townhomes, the apartments that we're looking at starting on later this fall in West Burlington also. So looking at utilizing that same program through the state of Iowa to hopefully apply and be awarded money to build out this 19-lot subdivision. So that's what this is for.
What's your time frame right now, Ryan, of when?
Applications for this are due July 1st.
Okay.
So we have to get everything together, submitted to them, and then awards should be announced by Labor Day. And then we would probably look to break ground on the land development side, either late fall or first thing spring of '23.
Yeah.
We have 3 years to complete that project. So if we were to be awarded in September, we have 3 years from the date of that award to complete that. We'd look to do all single-family homes in that subdivision. The state did raise the cost cap on it, so we're working with Standard of Beaverdale. They own that land, so we're working with them that we would do the land development with them, and then we would go in and build all those out, so.
Well, can't thank you enough for being involved in this. We talk every day about housing, and that project's been sitting out there for a little bit, and it sounds like now it's moving, so thank you for being
Yep,
involved.
I've been trying to, things getting caught up on my end and their end and keep things moving, so, yep.
Brian, one more question. What's the price point or range of the houses you would envision going in that development?
Yep, so we're envisioning that's gonna be around 275,000 on the very low side, to the higher side around that 350, 375 mark.
Thank you.
Quick update on the multi-residential project?
Yep, so the apartment complex in West Burlington that we were awarded, we're gonna be building directly north of Target, on those lots behind where Becker Plaza is. That'll be, we've redesigned that building. It'll be one building actually, and we'll have 56 apartments. We've got 24 two-bedroom, 26 one-bedrooms, and 6 ADAs for a total of 56 units. So we had a meeting with Sean Ryan and Dick Keith, who's our engineer, a while back, and we're gonna keep having some other things, make from code updates and different things, so pushing that forward slowly but surely. Nothing happens as fast as we want, but we're hoping to start the infrastructure part this fall yet. Not sure if we're going to be able to have structure going up in the air probably until spring, which may not be bad due to commodity prices and everything. Hopefully things can shake out a little bit, so yeah.
What's your estimated price points on those right now for rental?
Rental rates on those, we're looking at $850 to $1,100.
$850, what'd you say, 2 bedrooms, some of them?
We've got 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so 850 would be the one, okay.
Some of them are just a hair bigger, so that's why there's a little bit price differences, but yeah.
No way you can have it done by June 23rd?
June 23rd, yeah, it'd be nice, right?
You can do that.
Closing date, yeah. Yep. Another comment I'll say, I appreciate Jesse and his team. Officer Dunham reached out. We bought the building at 914 Broadway here in West Burlington, next to Ritter's. So we're redoing that. That's where our offices are going to be located, and keeping an eye on that. And Dunham had reached out one night. There was a door open, and so appreciate that. And Sean kind of helping us out on the building inspection side and what do we got to do here, you know, and making sure we're getting it done right. So, yep.
On that building, are you gonna fully utilize it for all your business, or are you renting space in it?
Yep, they'll actually, so we've just got temporary doors in there right now. So there'll actually be a lot of glass on that front. The front wall will be stucco. We're going to utilize, that front building, 7,500 square feet. We'll use about 3,600 of it. And then we've got 2 tenants that are going to go up front. We've got a financial institution that's going to open up a loan production office in one of them. And then there's a salon that's going to take up another space. And we've got 13, almost 1,400 square foot of space in the back that we're looking to lease out also.
Thank you.
Yep.
Wow.
And Ryan, you said it should be Midwest Realty Group?
Correct, yep.
Okay, so I'll amend my motion to Midwest Realty Group.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you
right.
for coming.
you.
And waiting,
What's that?
and waiting patiently.
Oh, you're fine. That's how it goes. I understand. So,
If you
glad to hear
need,
the updates.
if you need support on the amendment, you have it.
Okay, I think I do. Okay, excuse me. Have a motion to support. Any further discussion? If not, resolution, therefore we can have a voice vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. With that, we have finished our new business. Is there any old business to take care of? Okay. With that, I would like to entertain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Like to entertain a motion to close out our regular session and open into a closed session.
So moved.
Support.
Motion support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We're now going into closed session.